Well, the Inkatha Freedom Party Youth Brigade will lead the launch of the IFP's Private Members Bill and the Employment Services Amendment Bill in Gauteng. What exactly is this being done for? Well, let's speak to Mlungisi Mabaso, the IFP Youth Brigade National Secretary. Mlungisi, good to have you with us today on ENC. I appreciate the time. So this is all to do with youth unemployment, and the suggestion is youth unemployment is bad because of the number of foreign nationals in our country. Have I got this right? Is that the crux of this?
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show, and greetings to you and the viewers at homes. We have just concluded our event not so long ago. We are still within the premises where we were launching this bill. But the bill, what it seeks to achieve is for the government to regulate the employment of foreign nationals, documented and undocumented, for the purposes of prioritizing South Africans, especially with the employment where it does not require a special skill or a high qualifications to do the job. This job refers to the people that are working in restaurants. It speaks to the people that are driving trucks. It speaks to the security personnel and all other jobs. But what we are saying, in fact, is that the minister must, identify and publicize a list of the skills that is shortage in the country that can be required to be sourced outside the country. And once he has done that, the bill further seeks that the minister must then make provisions for skills transfer and say, if this particular skill is not in the country and we are sourcing out the person with that particular skill outside South Africa, then there must be a process of a skills transfer, so that after a certain period of time, that person then should be allowed to go back to the country of origin and leave South Africans to continue with that particular work. And what we are also saying is that the employer must justify when they employ foreign nationals that they have exhausted all the avenues they have tried to find, and there is no South African that is eligible or qualifying for that particular job. So failing to do that, then the employer must be penalized, because if they are failing to justify to us that that particular job there is no South African that can do, hence they then went on to get a foreign national to work in that particular job, then those people must be penalized for doing that.
Mlungisi, there is a concern, and I'm sure you're aware of it from some quarters, that this kind of bill and this kind of rhetoric could create a sense of xenophobia. What do you tell those critics? Are you not concerned this could lead to xenophobic violence?
Well, it shouldn't. It's not being prioritizing South Africans to earn employment doesn't make it xenophobic. I mean, if you go to other countries, they have regulated the employment of foreign nationals. Go to Botswana here, across the border. Not all the job is given to people that are not originally from Botswana. There are jobs and there are economic activities that are reserved for their citizens, and no one said they are xenophobic about that. So what we are trying to do here with this bill as IFP is that we had a high unemployment rate in the country, and the leaky jobs that is left in the market must be given to South Africans for us to tackle the unemployment rate that we are currently fighting. In a way, unemployment is a pandemic in the country, and the interventions must be injected, and this is part of the intervention. And all other countries have regulated the foreign nationals' employment, except for South Africa, where everyone just gets a job opportunity, willy-nilly, without even to check whether that person is documented or not. So if you go to courier companies, if you go to your e-hailing, if you go to your restaurant, there are even undocumented foreign nationals that are working there. And the Minister of Labour cannot even account for those people. He doesn't even know how many of foreign nationals that are working in this country. And we are saying as the party that must be regulated so that we know who's working where and how that person has got an opportunity to be employed.
Are you feeling as the IFP that you're having to do this because government in our country has failed the youth of South Africa, that you now as the IFP feel you need to step in and try and fix the situation that government couldn't get right? Has the ANC got this wrong and that's why you're having to fix it?
Well, they got it wrong a long time ago. Remember, 2004, the President Emeritus and the founder of the IFP introduced the migration bill, which was rejected by the ANC, which was going to control the influx of foreign nationals coming to the country, and that was rejected at the time. So this is not the first time we are trying to address this matter through passing of the bill in Parliament, and we hope and believe that this time the ANC is not going to use its majority to reject this bill, because by us bringing in this bill, in a way, we are assisting government to deal with the issues of foreign nationals in the country. We are assisting government to deal with the issues of unemployment in the country. So we are expecting them to be the #1 supporters of this bill, because if we are not going to do that, then that means we are subjecting our residents, we are subjecting our citizens to this kind of environment where they will not be able to get employment anyway, because foreign nationals are getting, less pay than what is gazetted through the wage bill in the country.
Help me understand the position of the IFP about foreign nationals that own companies, own spaza shops, own any kind of company that's employing locals. What's the IFP's stance on that? You have foreign nationals that are employing locals and the youth in our country. What's the IFP's view on that?
Well, the South Africans can also employ South Africans. I mean, the township economy is the one that we must use to boost our economy and grow our economy. So there is nothing that stops South Africans to open those shops, operate those shops, and employ South Africans. So whatever that foreign nationals are doing in the country, it's things that we are also capable of doing.
No, I understand that it's perfectly possible for South Africans, of course, to open shops and create business. I'm not arguing that point. I'm wondering if a foreign national today, Mlungisi, owns a shop that is employing locals. What's the IFP's stance on a foreign national creating jobs for locals? Where do you land on that?
But you must also remember and take into cognizance that foreign investment is allowed, and we are not against that. So there are foreign people that will come and open businesses in South Africa, but they must also be subjected to the policies and the act that guides and regulate the employment within the country. So if there is foreign investment in the country and that boosts us, to create employment, that is welcome, and IFP is not against it. What we are against is the employment of foreign nationals in a sector where South Africans can do the same job.
Just before I begin to close up our conversation, Mlungisi, there is one or two critics also suggesting this is someone who works in the Human Mobility in Africa organization, Scalabrini, a migrant expert, saying that the IFP is trying to scapegoat foreign nationals for poverty, inequality and unemployment in our country. Are you simply trying to blame foreign nationals for our problems?
No, we are not blaming foreign nationals. What we are saying, we are addressing the challenge that is facing our residents. So we are not blaming anyone here. Hence, we decided to bring solutions to the problem that is faced by our citizens in the country. So bringing in a bill, in Parliament and try to regulate something that is not regulated, try to address the challenge that is faced by the citizen, does not make it a scapegoat and does not make it, a blame to a particular person. So if we wanted to play a blame game, we would have just called a press conference and say to the nation, you see, foreign nationals are taking over your job, you see, ANC is not protecting you. But we decided to bring in solutions to the challenges that are faced by our citizens. So anyone can make a comment to that, but we know exactly what we are doing, what we are seeking to achieve as the organization is that the little job that is left in the market must be given to South Africans, and they must be prioritized, and with the exception of a specialized skills that is not in the country.
In closing, some criticism levelled at the IFP as well on social media, saying that the IFP is doing the exact same thing as Operation Dudula. What's your reaction to that?
Well, we are not attacking anyone. We are fighting this battle through the law processes, taking the matter to Parliament that does not seek to support Dudula. Dudula is on the street, chasing everyone. We are engaging, in legal processes. We are bringing in the bill to Parliament. So that does not mean we are supporting any organization or any operations in the country. In fact, IFP started this process in 2019, and there was no Dudula at the time.
Well, I appreciate your time in coming on to speak to us on today on ENCA. Mlungisi Mabaso, the IFP Youth Brigade National Secretary. A discussion and a debate which I'm sure will continue for weeks and months.